My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Forced Showdown. If you don't know what Forced Showdown is, it's kind of like a twin-stick shooter, it's kind of like a roguelike, and it's kind of like a deck-building card game. I understand it sounds like I'm just listing off completely separate genres, but no, they actually merge together in a really interesting way. So we're gonna get right into it. Let's concede that one. That was a test recording. As you can see, 0.0 enemies killed, 0 damage taken. Test recording. So, we are going to be launching into the Crucible. There was a tutorial mission. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can replay the tutorial missions. So, instead, I'm going to tutorialize the elements of it for you. So, in the tutorial, we did unlock a companion. The companion is Zhao Long. A fragile but powerful little flying lizard has an energy bolt, which is a single target projectile dealing high knockback damage, and will escape if damaged. Oh, of course, our main hero is the Squire of Light, the default hero. Looks like there's a total of 4 of them. I've unlocked one that I'm not even going to check out yet. At the very least, I will wait until my second run to do so. I've got 4 abilities, as you might find in something like a MOBA. It's got a lot of parallels to a MOBA as well. So I'm talking League of Legends, Dota 2, Heroes of New Earth. Pick your poison. Those are all MOBAs, right? ARTS, sometimes they're called as well. Action, real-time strategy. Okay. Light Beam is our basic attack. It becomes more powerful the longer we maintain it. Overcharge damages the enemies around you and knocks them back, deals more damage to closer enemies. Guardian Light, become invulnerable for 2 seconds, and then a passive Speed of Light when you're attacked. Light Beam, I think that's meant to be Light Beam, not Beam of Light, because this is called Light Beam, and that says it buffs Beam of Light, which doesn't exist. Hits twice as fast for 2 seconds. Then we also have a deck. These cards will come into effect at some point in the future, well, at the very start of each round. But until then, we're going to kind of ignore that element, and we'll talk about it when it's relevant. Okay.
You won't regret this.
I imagine I won't. Honestly, I'm very interested in a bunch of the different genres that make this up.
Yet another exciting round of Forced Showdown, the only show in the galaxy with lives on the line. As always, the rules are that the contestant must fight his way through numerous titans, earning points along the way. Tonight's show will be the Crucible. At the end of the hall stands the ultimate challenge.
Okay. So, let's check out the things that we can do. Collect points to earn boons. And we've also got some quests to do. Interesting. As you can see, I've really done nothing in this game so far. And then we can check out our deck. Okay. So, at the start of every single round of battles, we are going... basically like a floor in Isaac, if you want to think of it like that. At the start of each of those, we are going to have some cards as options to play. And those are going to give us permanent buffs. Well, some of them give us permanent buffs. Some of them give us different things that aren't specifically permanent. But of course, we'll see those and their execution in the future. So, what do we want to get doing here? Slippery cards, laser leash. Okay, I have to defeat 2 battles before I can go in here. Supplies, I get a lightning rod. This gives me slippery cards. I imagine I discard cards every round if I do that one. Laser leash. There's a leash between me and my ally. I'd have to assume something similar to that. Ability bolts. Okay, let's do this. Just because it's leftmost. Okay, we get ability bolts card played, which means every single time we access an ability, the nearest unit will take 25 damage. And there are more enemies than there ought to be. We're going up against the captain. Movement speed starts at 8 and capped as 12. What does the number mean? Meters per second at top speed.
Get the loot!
So you can see here we have a mulligan phase for the card aspect of the game. Choose the cards that I want to redraw. So anything that I can't really play right now, I kind of want to redraw. But also this, I've found, is super strong. But I need to guarantee a good curve. Okay, we're going to keep Squire Puff and nothing else.
Yarr!
Okay, so I do actually have something castable for a few rounds. That's excellent. So now I'm going to cast Squire Puff. It gives me a Squire Puff ally, which does basically no damage and has basically no life. If it survives the round, I gain plus 15% damage. So basically my goal is to keep this guy alive for the entire round. Oh, nope. As you can see, it does 4 damage at the start, then moves up to doing 6 damage, then 9, then 18. That's the beam of light getting more powerful as it is fired. You can also see at the very top of the screen the health bar remaining for the map.
Arena completed.
The arenas are relatively short. The Squire Puff is still alive, so I should get my buff as I move onwards here. Yep. Squire Puff just blew up, and now I've got plus 15% damage. I've also got Ability Bolts, which was given to me as soon as I started this mission. So the only one I can cast right now is Piercing Light. It is a beam of light now pierces enemies, and if I do another one of these, I'll get the Final Blast gaining extra range. So an add-on effect means if I play the same card again, I get the add-on effect.
Our king.
Okay. Mana does not stay around, by the way, so you want to spend as much mana as you can every single turn. So you can already see I'm doing 5 and 7 damage rather than 4 and 6. That's the extra 15% damage for you. So the game's kind of starting us out soft, as you might imagine.
Be consumed by the sun.
Although the piercing is really good.
Completed.
Arena completed! You can also see at the top left how many floors we have to go down until we get to the boss. Okay, so now I have the option for Duobot, which is a consumable, so it will give me a item, basically, in my consumable slot, which will allow me to summon 2 combat drones that will rapidly fire for 15 seconds, and it increases my damage by 2% for each enemy killed in that period. So I really don't want to use that until I'm fighting, say, a boss in an arena, or I'm fighting a bunch of enemies at the same time. Instead, I'm going to stick on Curve, and I'm going to get Shock Helmet. Reaction, 30% chance to cast a Shock Nova, which basically means when I'm hit, 30% chance to do 30 damage to all nearby enemies. Seems pretty good to me. The more damage I'm doing with Beam of Light, the slower I am as well. So it's not strictly good. Whew. These buffs, of course, are also maintaining through arenas, which is excellent, as you might imagine. So we've still even got the Squire Puff 8, which we had on the 2nd floor, and now we're on the 4th. Overcharge adds an additional overcharge after a short delay, overcharge being my 2nd ability that I haven't used yet. This one, right click.
I hope you won't use that on me.
We'll try and use it here. And then, there's the 2nd one, the 2nd pump afterwards. So that's really, really good for clearing out AoE enemies, but the majority of the time, my enemies haven't been AoE on this map so far, or at least on this mission. Boom. Ooh, Zhao Long is on really low health. I wonder how I can heal you. Oh, it looks like their health gets boosted every single turn. Awesome. So, at this point, I've also got Mana Boost, which is basically like a coin, imagine. But I think instead, I'm going to use all 5 mana to cast the Duobot and Fairy Bottle, which will then allow me next turn, when I have 6 mana, again, of course, 1 mana every single different turn, to use Mana Boost plus Cosmic Cleaver for plus 45% damage. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 consumables here. Neither of which I plan to use for a while, but it's always good to have the option. Now, the enemies are going to become gradually more difficult as I can't kill them in the cheesy way I have been, which is basically just knock them back until they die. The further you move on, the fewer enemies are really vulnerable to that.
Beware the sky.
And... boom. No? There. God damn it, and there's a wisp-ish thing inside. Don't want to heal. Okay, so fairies deal damage around you, healing for each enemy they hit. Okay, so they're not actually just a straight-up heal, they just do damage. Alright, so I'm gonna want to use it now. Mana Boost, Cosmic Cleaver. I'll deal with the rest of that next turn. Okay, looks like that actually healed me up to really near 4th health. Lower. Go, and the revolver is completed, which was a quest that wanted me to kill 6 enemies in 6 seconds. Perfect. Of course, as you go on, complete quests, complete dungeons, all those kinds of things, you're going to be unlocking more cards, more people to play as, more companions, all of these lovely things. There's no reason not to cast both of these. Paranoid, start every arena with a shield, add-on, gain a new shield 10 seconds later. So second Paranoid makes it way better. But I already have Shock Helmet, so reaction 30% chance to cast Shock Nova. I don't know if that's going to stack additively or multiplicatively. So I don't know if it rolls 2 different 30% chances, in which case there's around a 10% chance that I'll do it twice, or if there's now a 60% chance for me to cast it Nova. Not certain, unfortunately. I imagine those are the kinds of things that I'm going to become much more familiar with as we move further on into the game. Because finding out things like that and using them to break the ever-loving hell out of a game is the kind of thing that I really love doing.
Arena completed.
Oh, thank you for completing the arena for me, Xiaolong.
One for all, and all for me.
And it's time to fight the captain. Ooh, Squire Puff. Well, there's no reason not to cast it. I don't get to keep it between this arena and the next arena. Fight! I still haven't even tried to turn myself invincible at any point. Okay, you're way too high for me to fight, so I imagine I'm just going to try and focus on attacking hot things for a while.
I'll cut you open.
Okay, I've turned myself invincible for a while just so that I can stand here and chuck some damage in.
Attack! I'm firing my laser.
Oh god, I just heard the memes. I'm firing my laser.
What are you doing? Get moving.
The tutorial boss was also called Rombo.
Attack!
Rombo the Exterminator. And started quoting lines that were obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger lines from movies. Rambo, Terminator, Rombo the Exterminator. You can kind of see where they were going with that.
It's dizzy.
It's difficult to be intimidated by a boss who is memes. And boom! Second slope. Quest, we don't need him. Win a battle without picking up health orbs. Don't mind if I do. Collected myself a total of 27 points. And we're going to be moving on. Looks like we're going to have time to do another arena at least. I can get a boon if I'd like. Excellent. Increases the drop rate of health globes by 20%. Draw an extra card after your mulligan. That's really good. Reduces all damage taken by 2. Considering our max health is 110, that's actually pretty significant. And extra attack speed. I like the extra attack speed, but I'm going to take the extra mulligan. Or the extra card after mulligan. Because if I know one thing about card games, and I do only know one thing about card games, but if I know one thing about card games, it's that card games work entirely off the basis that cards are better than not cards. Basically. It's the simplest you can make it. Frank the Ever-Living. Supplies, Lightning Rod. We start with the Lightning Rod card played. Okay, mana boost. 2 Cosmic Cleavers, that's way too many. And I don't want consumables. So mulligan so that... got a lot of mana boosts here. I could mana boost out a Piercing Light right now. But why wouldn't I just Piercing Light, Fusion Power, next turn? Because if I mana boost out a Piercing Light, I've got nothing to play next turn. Well, I guess I could mana boost a Fusion Power. Is that a good idea? I would be relying on drawing a 4. I get 2, 3 draws before I'd need it. Yeah, actually, that's fine. Especially considering how many 4s.
Showtime!
And how powerful this actual thing is. The piercing beam of light, that is. Okay, definitely looks like we're fighting kind of like technology-based tinkerers, engineers, and things of the like. What is Lightning Rod doing for me? Hits a nearby enemy for 1 to 70 damage every 1 to 8 seconds. Holy shed. I'm not going to use the Squire Puff right now. Okay. Let's continue moving. And looks like there is someone else who wants a little bit of the business.
Completed.
Alright, it doesn't look like they actually wanted the business. So a 3 mana or a 4 mana card would both be amazing right now. Excellent. So, fairies around you will deal damage. Fine, I guess I'll just get that ready. Don't know why there was a whirlwind already active on me when I started the video game. But I'm hoping that it is not relevant. Blow them all up. Now, of course, the actives that I had in the last set of arenas are not still available to me. So I'm kind of sad about it. But I'll get over it. I'll make do. I'm a big boy. Alright, I can only Squire Puff this turn. That's pretty bad. And if I can't keep the Squire Puff alive, I'm going to be super sad about it. Okay. I know that the final burst has longer range than the standard attacks, which is why I bothered continuing there. It feels like I'm playing Bomber.
Arena completed.
Arena completed. Okay, I should be getting the Squire buff at the moment. Yep, there it goes. Extra 15% damage. I'm also going to pick up increased blood flow for a plus 80 max health. It also actually gives you the current health, so it gives you 80 health as well as 80 max health. So you can use that when you're on low life and be pretty confused with the results. So I'm trying to be as tricky as possible here and finish off enemies with one sweep of the beam and then swing around and hit a different enemy with the actual final pulse. Which seems like it's actually working relatively flawlessly.
Play card.
Hey, we'll use increased blood flow again.
The sun shall reforge my armor.
It's going to be very difficult for the opponents to kill us at this point. I can't... Oh, gosh. That guy did a lot of damage to me. So I should recognize that in the future as a very strong melee unit. Although it looks like it confuses itself after it attacks, so just walk away from it while it's attacking.
Arena completed.
That was the lightning bolt. That wasn't me. It just rolled high and rolled at the right time.
Play cards.
That's a Cosmic Cleaver right there. No reason to play anything else. I'm pretty certain that's adding to all of my damage, not just my damage from my main attack. So this is kind of a situation you don't want to be in, entirely surrounded, but thanks to the stupid amount of HP I have, it really didn't matter. I didn't even bother triggering invincibility there at that point.
Dead bodies.
Frank, the ever-living.
Play cards.
Sure. Pump these out, no reason to have them.
No place too hard, big bird. Have us moving.
So I'm just activating all of my consumables, so there's no reason to hold on to them now. Like, what good are they going to do me at this point? On and... Okay, 2 seconds has passed. I've got to make sure that I'm not standing in this stupid spot again. And we're done.
Meatbag good lips. Frank don't like.
No big deal. Victory. Got another 26 collected points. I think I'll actually be able to purchase another boon off the back of that, if I recall correctly.
A Titan among Titans emerges.
Yeah, that's another boon. Okay. Extra companion health, not really interested. Extra damage by 8%. Extra damage to summoned enemies or 10% attack speed. I'm going to go with the extra attack speed now. It'll get me to my final pump a lot faster, hopefully. It looks like it might actually be getting it to the final pump. Battle rules, Heatwave. Try to build your deck so you can play cards in each arena. So you basically want to have a curve, is what that's saying. Heatwave, fiery projectiles fly across the arena. A lot of them, 20 on impact, and there are fewer enemies.
Stand before a god.
Actually, that's a good curve. I don't have many 1-drops in my deck, so I may as well only mulligan
Play cards.
those. Oh, I do have a 1-drop. Excellent. Boom. Oh, I've got a real good curve.
Showtime.
Be consumed by the sun.
Having the piercing shot, I feel, is pretty integral to my playstyle, which is get super up close and personal, use someone as a body shield, and then fuck over everyone else.
Arena completed.
Oh, my companion died, but thankfully the Squire Puff didn't, so I will get my 15% damage
Play
bonus.
cards.
Ooh, shiny. Gain a random upgrade card. It costs 2 less mana. That's really cool. It's kind of like Unstable Portal in my mind. But I'm going to use it to fix my curve on turn 4 by playing a 3 and it. Let's go Piercing Light. Of course, now my shots are piercing. That's what Piercing Light does. I also want to get a stacked version of Piercing Light at some point, just so I can see how well that does. Whether or not that's something I want to invest in the future, like a Piercing Light-based deck.
Arena completed.
Arena completed. I just like that vocal call. It's really good.
Play cards.
Play cards. Fusion power does a lot more damage. Actually, I'm going to go with the Paranoid.
A gift from the sun.
Because I feel it'll help me, especially early on, avoid a lot of damage that I would otherwise be taking. And then we've just got our final enemy over here.
Arena completed.
On the ground. They're over here, on the ground. Deceased.
Play cards.
Okay, so now I'll use Ooh Shiny.
The light.
Shadow Cloak. Plus 10% chance to block. Awesome, I'll keep that. And we'll use Fusion Power as well. So now my Overcharge is stupid. Although if I could get something like a entirely Overcharge-based deck, by which I mean get the card that gives you your second Overcharge, that was super cool. So I can totally see the way that you would be wanting to build a deck. Beat 15 arenas with your companion surviving. Awesome. I'm glad that Zhao Long has been surviving. 5 mana. Okay, so I cast, well, obviously that. I don't like how many consumables I have in my deck. I tend not to use them. So I really don't feel like they're exactly worth my time to have in there. Oh, you're over here. Wondering why I was not finished yet. Okay, I've got to use the fairy bottle, so that's 1. Increased blood flow, 100%. I'll worry about everything else later. Okay, I'm getting a relatively large amount of health. That'll have to do. It'll just have to do. There's no other enemies to beat up with no other fairies. Okay, so this is my 7th. That's really shitty. Alright, well, let's get a bunch of consumables I'm never going to want to use. I imagine there's probably some sort of a consumable-based deck that you can actually do that's not abysmal. But to me, they really seem... what's the word I'm looking for? Shit? Yeah, shit. Shit's the word I'm looking for. Because they just don't last. You have them as an option forever, sure, but they don't last. They don't do anything on the next floor. Other than stay there if they're unused. Oh, Cosmic Cleaver, thank you. Perfect timing.
Feel the light of
So close to turn myself invincible. Oh, my opponent has armor as well. How do I stop you having armor? Oh, there was a little dude giving you invincibility. Interesting.
rejoice and receive my blessing.
Where's the little dude? You the little dude? No? How do I destroy your armor? I'll find the little dude eventually, don't worry. There it is. No, that's just another summon.
Who put a wall here?
Ah, there you go. Goodbye.
Come to me, minions.
Come to me, minions. Okay, so you're now going to be doing some sort of summoning. Oh, there's the shield. It's directly above your head. So I guess I basically just have to wait for it to drop and then kill it. Until which point I'm pretty much just dodging you, I guess? Alright. I think I can see the general plays here.
Shield re-engage. My blessing be upon you.
Okay, and there goes the shield.
Let's see how you handle
Oh god,
this.
really? It's already back? Summon some allies.
Activating deflector shield.
Boom.
You look battered.
Just threw a bomb at him. Okay, so the consumables are slightly better than I was giving them credit for. Whatever. Whatever. I'm allowed to be wrong from time to time. Sure, it's more like from
What a
time to time,
fantastic
right?
fight!
But still.
The gatekeeper lays beaten and humiliated. Our contestant advances the floor.
Alrighty then. What else do we have? Another extra card? You're kidding me. Stack that, yeah. Oh, looks like we're going to have another round of things that we need to do before we get to the actual final boss of the Crucible. Which I guess means, at this point, we're going to be ending the episode. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Forced Showdown. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. There is a playlist in the description down below with all of my content on this video game, present and future. There's also a link to the Steam store page in case you're interested and want to pick it up yourself. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself, and we'll see you next time.